Hello, everyone, and welcome to a quick hitter video. We've seen a lot of the films that where we are anticipating this award season, and there's really only two or so left, I would say, that we have not gotten any reactions or reviews for. And one of those two, we just got our first social media reactions to Wicked for Good, the sequel. Very positive stuff. We're going to read a few of them in a second. And this might also be a little bit of a conversation on initial social media reactions and how much we can trust them and all that. We'll get into that in a second as well. But first, let me, before we get into any of this, just read a few of them. Some of our first reactions. Clayton Davis says, Wicked for Good flies high. John M. Chu helms an emotionally timely piece that deepens every spell cast by the first film. No surprise, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are spectacular again. You're not ready for the For Good duet, a heartfelt end to Oz's greatest friendship. We've got Jazz 10K, who says, get ready because Wicked for Good exceeds all expectations. John M. Chu is a genius in the way he brings this to a close. Elphaba and Glinda's stories are expanded and leave you with an emotional gut punch at the end. Cynthia Erivo is magnificent, but get ready for Ariana Grande as she takes this performance to the next level and is a tour de force. And wow, the world building, the costumes, the cinematography deserve your attention. Cannot wait to see it again. I sobbed hard. Wicked for Good is sheer musical greatness. Let's read one more. Why not? Chris Murphy, who I think has done some interviews with the cast before, saw Wicked for Good last month, and believe me when I say that it expands and deepens the original source material in general, exciting and innovative ways. Cynthia and Ariana take their performances to the next level with jaw-dropping performances. The film fully sticks the landing. So I think that was pretty. Oh, well, also Destiny Jackson, who says, Wicked for Good, all good deeds go, rewarded. In Wicked for Good, it's a epic, heartbreakingly tender conclusion to one of the most dynamic friendships in pop culture history. There's a lot for the fans and of the Broadway show to love, with butterfly kiss size surprises in store. So positive overall. I do just want to say these initial social. First off, there's only like 4 or 5 people who gave their reactions, so I think Universal was very particular in who they handpicked to be able to see this film initially. Not a lot of, I would consider more of these people in the reactions more pundits rather than like critics. So I think we have to wait until like maybe more of like the crowd sees it and just more people see it in general. It's a good start, but with these, these first reactions are always just so much more positive than the actual reviews. I'm also just coming off of Song Sung Blue, which just premiered, and some of the social media reactions were insanely positive, and I'm just sitting there leaving that movie like, well, that was not great. So I'm a little bit tender to how hyperbolic some of these social media reactions can be. But overall, I think it's looking pretty good thus far. I have because of this will make, hopefully the Wicked fans will enjoy me in this video, because of seeing Song Sung Blue and a few other films. I think both the actress and supporting actress races are thinning out a little bit. So I now do have both of them in the acting categories. So yeah, any thoughts, Anthony, on these first initial reactions?
Well, yes. So imagine if I said, no, we're good. We're moving on.
Let's move on. End the video.
Let's move on. End the video. So I believe the screening that happened last night was more for like the Broadway company of Wicked. Like, yes. It was more, and they did this last year. That's what last night was. And while I agree with you, these aren't like going to be the harshest critics that were invited. I do think they set the tone because they are the ones that have to champion it first. I think the difference between something like this and Song Sung Blue is that Song Sung Blue is not going to be as high priority a screener or a screening for Academy voters and voters to attend. So the fact that you get these people so hyperbolic out of the gate, this doesn't sound like the sort of movie that these people will stop cheering for and rooting for, especially because it's the final chapter. And I think it's really important that you get your base excited, you know, because you have to, they are going to be the ones that champion you first. And then everybody else is like, well, let me see if it's really worth the hype. So I think this is great. I think what's really important, I want to ask you this when it comes to the acting, is that everybody mentioned either the both of them or the both of them, but Ari really excels, which
she got more standout. She did for the first reactions as well, though. I feel like the first social media reactions for the first film, she got more standout. I think she surprised. I think maybe just the fact that it's Ariana Grande surprises people a little bit more. But yeah, she definitely got more
surprising people, you know. Yeah. But I've said this since the first episode of the season. She's the main character of this movie. I know she's in supporting, but it really is her story. and how she becomes Glinda the Good, the same way the first movie was about how Elphaba becomes wicked. And so I think she is benefiting from that kind of just recalibration of the narrative. I want to ask you, because I feel like we see this a lot, where there's a very strong ensemble, and so then they make sure one actor wins on behalf. Do you think that that could be, setting aside the competitiveness of the category or the lack thereof, do you think that the fact that they are so beloved that Ari will benefit as like we're honoring both of you or all of you? Because I do get the sense that they really do, people really respond to the acting in these movies more than most blockbusters we see. I feel like there's so much talk about the two of them in particular that I think it creeps more into like, you know, like the Holdovers with Divine Joy Randolph winning, but really, you know, she's a representative for Paul Giamatti and Dominic Sessa and that entire group. You know, I'm getting that vibe.
I think if she wins, it's solely because people think she's the best in that category. I think if they want to award the whole ensemble, they would do that at SAG. But even last year, which I would say last year's competition at SAG Ensemble was weaker than what they'll be up against this year.
Sure.
They still couldn't win that. And I do still think, and we'll get into this in a second, what it'll get nomination wise. I do still think that this will not be quite as strong as the first one. I think it's quite hard for a sequel, especially the year after, to have the same amount of strength or even be stronger. So I do think it would probably not win that. I do think it can win in supporting actress. I don't have her winning right now. I think I'm going to wait until I see the film and just see the entire field. But she's definitely, I think, got a bit. No one is beating Jessie Buckley in Best Actress.
No.
So she's got a shot.
That's why I think that because there is such love for the two of them, I think they're going to want to see one of them win an acting category. And because Jessie has actress basically sewn up, then I could see, you know, supporting actress where she's the lead role. It's a musical performance. She's proven her chops, and she's a representative for the movie. Like she has a lot of things. I think she has more things checked off in her box than anything. And I continue to believe that her performing, so I mean, she opened the Oscars last year with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That was her Lady Gaga Sound of Music moment. I'm here, I'm showing up, I want to be taken seriously. I love this art form. I'm not using it to get brownie points and then I'm going back into my world. I'm here and I want to mean it. I think people were really won over, and now she's proving herself again with a more serious role. I can say that blindly. I just know it's the truth. So other than that, I want to, because I can't tell if these are people who know about the critiques from the first movie. I did see a lot of mentions about the cinematography. It does look better from the trailer, but I thought that was
the same to me.
It looks a little bit more
color. The first film did very good precursor wise with cinematography nominations. I think it was probably 6 or 7 in that category. I think it got like ASC. It got a few things. So there's obviously people who like the cinematography. I don't think that will be a big detractor from it in any ways. But let's talk. This is what I have it getting right now.
Okay.
Let me know if you agree. I've got picture, actress, supporting actress, production design, costume design, makeup and hairstyling, VFX, sound, and then the 2 original songs. So that matches the first film with 10 nominations.
That isn't,
but not stronger.
Okay, because I was literally about to tell you. I was really about to ask, do you think it's going to get less, the same, or more than the first film?
The exact same.
I never thought you were going to say the same.
The exact same. I'm not going to do more. I feel like sequels getting more is like, has that ever happened besides like maybe Godfather, or like if the first film was a major Oscar contender, like obviously the Top Gun sequel got like more.
You can't deny that we have 2 nominations that it's probably going to get, that it was just not.
Song really ups your amount for sure. Yeah, we saw that with Amelia Perez last year.
And we're just convinced that both are going to get in. I mean, that hasn't happened since La La Land, right? Or no, Amelia Perez. Did Amelia Perez get 2?
No, I think it only got 1.
I completely blocked that movie out of my mind.
Someone else has gotten 2 since La La Land, though. I feel like.
You sure?
I feel like.
So we're completely convinced that it's getting both.
I have to hear them first, but right now I think so, because it's a competitive category. We've got like Sinners, you've got K-pop Demon Hunters, you've got an Avatar song now, you've got Diane Warren as always. So if one of them is like much stronger than I think one will get in for sure. Both is up in the air. If both of them get in, then I think it's maybe less likely of a chance to win. They might split votes. We also don't completely know if either of them have writing credits on these songs.
Cynthia
so like
does.
If
I don't think
she does.
Okay. Amelia Perez did get 2 nominations for Mi Camino and Mi Camino and then winning El Mal. And then Barbie got I'm Just Ken and What Was I Made For? So we've been on a streak 2 years in a row.
Those were both big picture contenders, so I think this one would probably get 2 as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I think I'm gonna go out. We can make a bet. I do think when all is said and done, I'm not going to predict specifically right now which ones. I do think Wicked for Good will have a higher nomination tally than Wicked Part One. I think there will be more people who will have been won over since, and I do think this is a more serious movie. I guarantee there are some people who dismissed it as like, oh, this is fluff. Oh, it's they put it in the
you
same
don't think they'll do
categories.
it this time around?
No, because
Those
it's
same
more
people?
political and it's more serious. I know you're wary of the Wizard of Oz references, but we'll again,
It's like the franchisification of it that
yeah,
I'm
but
like, okay.
I can only speak from the musical. It's not that big a presence. Like literally, like there's a scene that happens, and it's literally Glinda waving goodbye to Dorothy. Like Dorothy is not in the story. So again, I have to see how much there is. Obviously, Coleman Domingo recorded some lines. Again, I tend to look at this more as a final chapter than a sequel. And so we'll see.
I'm the
I'm gonna go.
opposite, but yes.
I know. Clearly, I am aware.
What would you add on top? I feel like you would add casting on top of this. Would you add anything else?
Well, I
You
still think
also
there's
had
a chance.
getting editing, yeah.
I think there's a chance for score and editing because they got in for part one, so we'll see. I think it's very tricky because as we've talked this whole season, and I've been more, positive. You've been a little bit more maybe realistic.
Skeptical.
There really is no comp for this movie. There is no comp for a big budget fantasy musical franchise film, which is this beloved by the Academy. But I mean, I think post pandemic, these are the type of movies that I think people are really rallying towards because it's also don't discount that I think these are the type of movies, if we're going to have big budget franchise movies, that Hollywood wants to see. I think they prefer this than a lot of the superhero craze of the 2010s. So I think, and I also think what's the secret sauce is that it's always the two performances that leads the conversation. They don't lead with the world building and then talk about the performances. And I think that is because even when you talk about Dune, you're talking about the spectacle. You're talking about Denis Villeneuve, and Wicked
This
has
gets
always been
people much more
something.
emotional
Yeah.
than most
So I think,
franchise films.
yeah. And so I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say it gets more. And I guess we'll have to wait until what, January,
14
February?
is the record though, so you can't add a ton more.
I If it got 14, that would be crazy. I do think One Battle After Another is going to get really close to 14.
Wicked fans, I think I've been pretty reasonable in this, so you can maybe not hate me in the comments
Please
section.
be nice to Jack. He's
I'm
allowed.
being realistic and skeptical, which I am allowed to be considering like
Yes.
Anthony said, we have not seen anything like this before in the
Yes.
Oscar race. So
Also,
yes,
I got you covered. We're good. It's
we
a
balance each
balance.
other out. It's like
Yeah.
it's not like it's all Wicked hate, and I'm not
Come
even
on.
hating. But
If
yeah,
I'm gonna be Glinda, somebody has to be Alphabet. Let's just be, come
exactly.
on.
Yeah. So comment your guys' thoughts on what nominations you think this film will get. Will it break the double nominee barrier? What will it repeat? What will it miss? All that fun stuff. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you when Avatar has its first tweet reactions coming out. And then I'll be the positive one, and Anthony can be the skeptical one. We'll switch roles.
That is true. I was about to
So-
deny it. I was like, no, that's not
that will happen. Yeah. So thank you guys, and see you in the next one.